Nari McDiarmid with you ahead of Mining News Select in Sydney, and it's great to be speaking again with Scott Caithness, Managing Director of Hawk Resources. Now, Scott, what is it that you'd like people to know about Hawk Resources?
Thanks very much for having me, Nari. Look, I think Hawk, we've got two exciting catalysts coming up for us at the moment. We're in the process of drilling our Cactus copper gold project in the US, in Utah, and we've also got great optionality with the recent project on scandium that we picked up, the Olympus project in Western Australia. So we're progressing that to be able to get on the ground, hopefully in the middle of the year.
Well, if we look at the US firstly, what's appealing to you about the Cactus Copper Gold project?
Yeah, Cactus is a really interesting project. It was mined back in the 1900 to 1920, 2% copper grades, zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.4 gold credit, and about 7 grams silver. So it's been intermittently explored, probably from the early 1960s onwards, and there's some fantastic drill intersections. 5 meters at nearly 7%, sitting within typically 20 to 40 meter intersections that will grade 1 to somewhere between 1 and 2%, generally about 1.5%. So we see it as having lots of potential for high grade copper in a breccia pipe style mineralization, but also we see that there may be potential for an intrusive source of that mineralization, which has potentially been a lot larger tonnage as well.
You also touched on the scandium project earlier. So, what's your focus going to be in the coming months, Scott?
Yeah, look, the scandium is interesting because it's a very large PXRF scandium in soil anomaly, grading greater than 500 ppm, so 7 kilometers by 4 kilometers. It's supported by, again, handheld XRF assays on RAB samples that have grade intersections anything up to 11 meters at 930 grams per ton of ppm, sorry, scandium. So look, we're in the process of working through to try and secure a native title agreement on that so we can commence our exploration. So our near-term catalyst is certainly the copper, which we're drilling at the moment in Utah, but we see the scandium as having great potential going forward, with the first phase of work being to verify the historical work that was done, because that was done 20 years ago, and it was done when they weren't actually exploring for scandium, the company that had it. So copper, near-term catalyst, scandium to follow on after that.
Well, going a little further forward into the future, Scott, what does success look like for Hawk Resources?
I guess, like every exploration company, you'd have to say success is ultimately finding an economic mineral deposit that the company can take forward. But look, in terms of the milestones along the way, obviously at Cactus, it's to have some good drill intersections that are encouraging, either from the high grade, from the moderate tonnage high grade perspective, or larger tonnage, bulk mineable in terms of copper. And obviously, if we have success with that, we will continue to drill those targets. And obviously, with the scandium, the key milestone, first of all, getting the native title agreement done, and we're in discussions, and that's progressing well. And then getting on the ground, verifying with lab assays the PXRF, and then following that up. Obviously, if we have success with the lab assays, we would do a lot more detailed soil sampling and progress that to drilling very rapidly.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks very much, Shari.